Hey, what's going on, you brothers and sisters? Tom 6 here. I'm interviewing a gig worker in San Francisco. And with me, I have Johnny here. How are you? Man, I'm doing all right. How about yourself? Today, we're talking about gig workers. What's going on with Uber and Lyft here in San Francisco?
Uber and Lyft basically started a relationship for drivers and riders. Basically, a rider wants to get a ride, it goes to software on your phone, and it goes to the driver. So what happens is it's a relationship between a rider and a driver with a piece of software in the middle. Uber and Lyft owns that software, and they take the majority of the money. The reason we're here today is because we are creating a union for California, Gig Workers Union of California, and it's to help drivers get the basics, like what any worker in California and the world gets: benefits, time off, workers' comp, all the basics we don't get because Uber passed the law, Prop 22. Prop 22 basically says you cannot get that because you're an independent contractor. But we are not. The algorithm they use, the way they put it together, they all dictate how drivers drive. That's treating us like an employee.
Yeah, I got one question for you. Sure. And so, like, when I'm using the app and I get a ride and it says $40, $50, what would that look like to you? What do you guys pay out to some of these things? What do you think your payout would be for something like that?
So, typically, Uber and Lyft get, if it's like $45, say $50, I get somewhere between 15 and 20, maybe 25. So they get more than 50%.
Has that always been the case?
No, it has not been. When they first started, again, as I mentioned, Uber or Lyft would get, say there's $10. They would get $2 for managing the software. The driver would get $8. As they've gone forward, they passed Prop 22 and it's gotten worse. We actually make less. So now, instead of $8, they make the $8. We make $2. We actually found out they use an algorithm that basically, bids out the ride. So the bid will come to me, and I'll get $10, and they'll still bid it even though I'm on the way to pick you up. And then as I'm going there, they will say, "Oh, you have a new one," and it'll be, instead of $10, it might be $4. And the reason why they've done that is because some other driver has taken it, they've given the algorithm, and they'll take it for $7. So they'll give it to the driver for $7. He makes less money, I make less money, and then they complain that drivers, cancel them. No. The system, the algorithm is canceling on the riders.
Oh my goodness! And then another point of emphasis today that was about the activations in the airport. So what's going on here?
It's crazy. There's no real due process. If, for example, if someone says this person, they said something bad to me because of the color of my skin, I can get deactivated, and I cannot go back and say, "Hey, I didn't say anything. They just were in a bad mood." I can't even do that. They'll just deactivate me, and there's no recourse. They also deactivate. So there was in one of the lots where we wait for rides at the airport, one of the security guards got in a fight with the driver, and it was just exchange of words. And then the security guard basically said, "Oh, he assaulted me," or he's yelling at me, and it wasn't that big a deal. He got deactivated for all the airports: San Jose, Oakland, and San Francisco. And you make more money here. So this guy has a bunch of kids. How is he going to make that money? How is he going to feed his kids? How is he going to make sure there's rent? How is he going to make sure there's food on the table? It's unfair, and there's no due process, and they do it all the time. They deactivate drivers just because they can.
In the airport, that is a lot of bread and butter for a lot of gig workers.
It is. It's really bread and butter because typically it's a longer ride. You know where you're going, and it could be $30. When I first started, I was doing part-time, it basically was... When I first started, basically it was, you could go from Oakland to San Francisco Airport and you can make somewhere around $40 to $60. Now, for that same ride, because they've lowered the rate and they use their algorithm to give us the lowest rate, so they make more money, now you make $15 to $28. It's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. Hey, that's it. Hey, John, thank you for your time. Hey, good luck in your fight here.
Yes.
Hey, good luck to you, brother.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for being a part of it.
I don't know if you're not close.
Hey, we're all together. We're all together. Yeah, yeah.